I am the young reader that loves this book. Yes. So I really wanted to just protect it and make sure that we were doing it justice.
We very, very, very much wanted to make sure that we did not mess anything up from this very beloved book. And most of the hard work done on Carina's and my side was to defend the material. And the beautiful thing about Emily Lockhart is she was sort of there to let us explore whatever we needed to explore. And I think we were able to fight for her words even more than she ever had to open her mouth and fight for her own. She did this lovely favor by writing a prequel called Family of Liars that allowed us to take a very single narrative story of Cadence Sinclair and We Were Liars and start to tell the stories of the sisters and the rest of the family, so we could make the world much bigger than just that one book. From the jump. So the audience that loves the book can tune in and see a lot of characters developed beyond where they were developed in the book, with lots of new juicy secrets of their own.
I think as far as things you asked what was difficult to bring to screen. Nothing was super difficult, but our dogs didn't cooperate that well. So we loved having those dogs on screen, but they didn't listen.
No, it's true. They say never work with kids and dogs, but if we had lost either the kids or the dogs from this adaptation, we would have gone straight to hell.
Our kids were wonderful. Our kids were so well behaved. Their trainers did an excellent job.
The dogs look really good.
They look amazing.
They do.
I said in our early meetings with our pilot director and Zinga Stewart, I said I wanted Summer 16 to feel like when you're lying in bed and you're thinking back on a beautiful childhood memory. And I didn't know anything about camera and lights, and I just wanted that feeling. And the first day on set, we shot a scene with Cadence and Gat in a hammock, and it felt like watching a memory. So I don't know how she did it, but she killed it.
You always have that burden of the book is narrated by Cadence, and so the very first question is, do you do voiceover or no voiceover? We had a lot of debates about those kind of things, how to get into Cadence's head and put on screen things that maybe were best only could work well on the page. And so the discussions were about how to bring all that beauty to life, and not compromise the purity of what the book was. And those debates went on for months and months and months. We ended up using voiceover, spoiler, and it works just fine.
In limited amounts.
Yeah. I think in addition to all those themes, we're also swimming in a pool of accountability, consequence, and the abuse of privilege. And I think that one of the things we're most proud of is being able to explore that in addition to the more universal stuff, because in our minds, privilege and the abuse of it is the most important conversation to be had today. And this show does not back away from that either.
One thing that these showrunners did in conversation with our pilot director and Zinga Stewart was to create a visual language together also with the cinematographer, Simon Duggan, who established the look of our show and shot our pilot. And he shot The Great Gatsby and Furiosa, and he's the real deal. And so there are these exquisitely beautiful wide shots of our landscape, but also a language of extreme close-ups that really, really center the emotions, just flickering across people's faces, the moment that two hands touch, the moment that people brush up against each other, the feeling of the sand under people's feet. So it created a very sensual, poetic, visual language.
Very well said.
Very well said.
I think the thing that we tried to do is give this private island two faces. We talked a lot about how beautiful and exciting that huge house is with all of its, grandeur in one light. And then in another light, it can make you feel very small and it can tower over you and it can feel very oppressive. So we tried to use the camera and use the scenery and use the landscape to tell the story of how it feels to be there. And we got really lucky with what we had to work with.
Absolutely.